Hey, good morning. How are you? Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for streaming with us. We appreciate it. Out there right now, you can tell, you just kind of look at the sky and you don't have those cumulus clouds building, you can just tell we're not going to see any rainfall today, and we're not going to see any rain. But, you can always just take a glance and that'll kind of give you a little bit of a clue as to whether we've got a chance for rain or not. We are going to catch a break. I think we're going to be dry, definitely today. Maybe eastern counties Friday and Saturday, and I'm talking about around Hallettsville. I doubt any kind of shower activity will get close to us. Maybe Hallettsville a 10 to 20% chance. The only other thing that really is going on is in Louisiana, they're picking up a lot of rain, but we'll get to that here in just a second. Okay, so here's what's happening. It's going to be hot. Stay hydrated this weekend. Friday and Saturday, isolated showers, but those are far to the east, I think. And early next week, we've got that summer high that we're kind of used to around here, finally building in. But I think high temperatures will be in the upper 90s, not too far away from seasonable highs. This time of the year should be in the mid 90s, 95. And in case you're wondering, we usually hit the peak average high is usually the last week of July, first week of August at around 96. Today's average high is 95. This morning low was 75. It's 83 out there right now. Record high 105, set back in 1932. We haven't hit a record high in a while, and again, I don't see a record high for a while. It just kind of looks seasonably hot out there right now. High temperatures will be in the mid to upper 90s. I'm going to go with 97 for a high temperature. And if you've got anything planned this evening, it should be in the low 90s, something like that. Current reading 83, Kerrville 81. Hallettsville is a little warmer at 87, and around Beeville 87 degrees. Notice Del Rio's at 82. One thing you'll notice is around the hill country where there's been so much rain lately, temperatures not as warm. Of course, hill country usually is not as warm usually. Okay, there's that little swirl I was talking about that's over Louisiana. Running out of real estate, there's a 30% chance that this will develop into our next named storm, but running out of real estate, and I think it's going to fizzle out, but bring a lot of rainfall to southern Louisiana. Taking a look at the national map real quick, high temperatures across the northern portion of the country. Only in the 70s. Look at Minneapolis, St. Paul, 73. That's a place to be. Omaha, Nebraska, 77. Bismarck, high temperature today will be right around 70. And then there's that rainfall there into Louisiana. Let's take a look at what the National Hurricane Center is saying. They've got, again, that 30% chance of development with that system. There's some shear going on. The top of the system is being blown more to the west. The lower part's kind of moving more northwest. It's just not a healthy situation. Plus, it's interacting with land, and so it's pretty doubtful that this will become our next named storm. All right, looking at the upper level pattern. Before we get to that, let me say hi to some folks. Let's say, Lise, hey, how are you? Hopefully doing well today. And Rita, hi, great news. You know what? Usually around here, it's bad news, but it's great news now, no rainfall. And hey, is that Delilah? Is that the way? Yep. Louisiana, okay, well, hi. I spent about 5 years in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Loved it. Good friends there, the Louviers and the Doucettes and Benoits. And I'd go back to Louisiana in a heartbeat. I like Louisiana. It was great. Okay, so we've got the rain there in Louisiana. Going to fizzle out. Again, there's a slight chance over the weekend we could have an isolated shower for our eastern counties. And then notice how the high builds in. I don't think it's going to be an extremely strong high, but it will build in this weekend and into early part of next week. And that means very little chance for rainfall. This is actually probably the strongest high we've had in over a month. That's going to build over the state. That'll help to dry us out. And then there's going to be a little disturbance. I don't like the way I've got my high. I'm going to have to fix that. But anyway, there's going to be a disturbance. Can you kind of make that upside down U in the eastern portions of the Gulf coming towards Texas? Right now, it doesn't look like a big rainmaker. That could change, though, as we head into, let's say, the 25th and the 26th. This is just one computer model, but the GFS is kind of doing something similar. So I'm going to throw in a chance for some showers in the 14-day. Initially, probably not great chances, but they'll be in there. I've got them in there, and the 14-day will reflect that. All right, high today, 97. Tomorrow morning, we'll have some clouds, and then tomorrow, more like the mid-90s, and see what I was talking about? Maybe an isolated shower over towards Hallettsville, and that's Friday and also on Saturday. All right, the drought monitor, the new one came out, and we do see some improvement, as you would imagine. Kerr County and up across the hill country has dropped to either no drought or just dry conditions. Big difference. And most of San Antonio is still extreme, but there's some parts in the northern part of the county that's severe, so that's an improvement. And there's just a little bullseye now of exceptional, and that's Medina County. If you live in Medina County, you're still in the exceptional. Let me say hi to Pam. How's Pam doing? Morning. Central Coast of California. Wow. Let's see, Central Coast, what would that be? Like south of San Francisco, I guess. I'm trying to think of a town that's there in Central Coast of California. For some reason, Sausalito, but I don't know if that's far enough, like in the middle. I'm losing my geography there of Central California. It's the only thing that comes to mind is Sausalito. It's just south of San Francisco, I think. But anyway, 97, that'll be the high today, partly cloudy to mostly sunny. Friday, 95, weekend, mid-90s, and next week, 96, 97, 98 for a high. And then with that disturbance I showed you coming out of the Gulf, let's say that more like the 25th and 26th, a 20% chance of some rain. And that's what I've got for you. You know what? I really appreciate you streaming with us. Make sure and watch the noon show. I got to go run do the noon. Make sure and watch us 4, 5, 6, and 10. And I will be back tomorrow morning. And you can catch us anytime on Kent's 5 Plus. All right, we'll see you later. Thank you so much, and it's always a pleasure. All right, we'll see you.